Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is our final match that is going to be commentated by myself and Big Z. So strap yourselves in. Hopefully, we've got a good one lined up for you. Matei, tell us what we're going to be seeing in this feature match.
Well, you're not going to be seeing my trophies here anymore. That I only put out just to tease Will. So
Okay,
sorry.
sure.
It's
We get it. You're good at magic. Okay, yes, sir.
Well, so, I mean, I'm the guy who went 2-4 at my regional championship, so it really can't speak.
I wasn't bringing that up. I thought I'd go the whole broadcast about bringing that up, but you're throwing yourself under the bus there, my friend. Talk to me. What matchups we seeing in our last feature match today?
We're gonna have Azorius Control facing up against Mono Black. I'm actually kind of curious to see because it's like a crime kind of style of Mono Black deck that we had there. You can see the deck says Abs and Caves. It's not Abs and Caves. Again, one of those cases where someone clicked the wrong deck archetype in MTG Melee. It's Azorius Control. Pretty standard list. Nothing too fancy. Just run of mill.
No, hold on. So I have to tell you, there is something fancy. There's a Bailoff in the sideboard. Is that sure? That's not right.
That's why it has the green mana symbol, but it's only a card against like Liliana of the Veil, right? Just to have that card available to you.
Okay.
However, I'll be nice to Michael, the Bennett Plumber. He's playing 4 Tishana's Tidebinder, and that's something that I really haven't seen that much. So it's quite brave. All right, but the other deck is the Mono Black one, which I do want to see more of. Oh,
no, this is like Esper Midrange. Oh wait, no, it is. That is not the list, I don't think.
Yeah.
So we'll work on that one. We're just going to go straight down to the match, and we'll see it live as it is being played. But we believe it is going to be up against the Mono Black mid-range deck. And there's a nice little panoramic view of the hall where over 1,200 players are battling it out in the regional championships of North America. And the game kicking off. Let's go. Mono Black on the play. Okay, we've already won the basic land game, hands down. That's the basics I like to use, the unglued ones. Let me know what you like to use, chat. When you turn up to your next tournament, what's your basics of choice? We know Matei likes his whiteboarded ones.
Yep.
But
Bronco turn 2 on the play. The perfect card you want to have against the blue-white control deck. I look at already generating card advantage, playing March of Otherworldly Light, exiling Emperor to be able to cast it.
All right, chat's asking, so I will ask this question because I'm a man of the people. What are those 2 trophies behind you, Matei?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. As we see another Bronco, which I like to see. One of the trophies is for placing second at Pro Tour Berlin 2008. Yes, I know that was ages ago. And the second one is for winning Grand Prix Stockholm 2014, which also was ages ago.
Ooh, Tiebinder in response to the Bronco trigger means we're not going to get that top card. That is going to be stifled. Do you feel better now? Do you feel better now that everybody knows that you got trophies and what they're for?
I hope Chad's happy. And I know I am. Thank you for asking.
I'm trying to think what I was doing in 2008. I think I was just about to go to war or something crazy like that. I don't know what I was doing then. All right, we're going to see the Graveyard Trespasser come down. That's going to eat Tiebinder out of the graveyard. 1 point of damage gained, 1 point of damage dealt. And more importantly, Day Noche is on the battlefield, which arguably is a lot better against the control decks that kind of like to play at instant speed. So the chances of it flipping is a bit better.
Yeah. All right, so that's going to flip. And David knows exactly what he's doing. I'm still tilted about the Abs and Caves deck description, but we won't be able to change it now. Just as a reminder to everyone, this is pre-recorded, right? We're running a bit behind just that we minimize the in-between rounds, right?
It's the minimum rounds of downtime, right? So we're not leaving everybody with be like back screens, etc. It's for your enjoyment at home. Is why we're doing this, ladies and gentlemen. And we hope you appreciate it. There's a lot of work that happens behind the scenes in the production, a lot of moving parts to be able to bring you this amazing coverage that you're seeing. And of course, it is brought to you by Heavy Play. If it wasn't for them, there wouldn't be this broadcast at this high quality. So please, if you can, go across their website, use that code Dallas2024, get yourself a bit of discount and maybe pick up the ETB playmat that you see both players battling out on right now. As Wandering Emperor comes down in response to this Deep Cavern Bats and has a look at this hand, what are you thinking, Matei?
I'm thinking that I think like playing the Emperor in response to the bat is great, but having a flipped Graveyard Trespass is also even better. So David is going to take the 3 steps ahead and going to return the other ones. Now he'll be able to attack the Emperor if he wants. That's going to... I mean, if he does have to.
as it can still be activated, but of course, if it do target the graveyard trespasser, it will cost another card because the ward of it is discard a card.
Indeed.
So how much do you value the value, so to speak, on that? Do you like attacking the Wandering Emperor here?
Ooh, no attacks here. Respect.
You could generate a blocker, I guess, which.
But now I think Michael is in decent shape. He didn't have to minus the Emperor to, wasn't forced to get another card out of his hand. Now he's able to create, more, put more things into play.
I get to say one of my favorite lines in casting history. Cast double deduce.
Double deduce.
It just rolls off the tongue so well and nicely. So we get to go more cards deeper, 2 clues generated, but unfortunately all we've got on top of our deck is lands. But when you sign up for these control decks, that is what you got to understand. A part of your game plan is you need to hit a lot of your land drops. Your land count will be a lot higher than most decks. As we flip from night to day.
Important here, because suddenly the Trespasser doesn't line up that well against the 2/2s. There's still the Batkin that will probably take down the Emperor here, but David is a bit of a pickle here because I think he has gigs, so he's really kind of priced in to try to hit Michael. And
do we wait a turn on the gigs?
Probably yes, but then Dressel's Anchorage are going to be being able to block the flyer. And I think he only has the tiny bones here that he has as a follow-up. And he also has to decide, like, hey, do I want to play out the gigs and the tiny bones here? Because hey, what if Michael has a sweeper? That would be really, really far behind.
I really like Tiny Bones. This is Tiny Bones, the pickpocket, the 1-mana legendary 1/1 with Death Touch. So when it attacks, it's got a few triggers that can happen if it deals damage. But we'll talk about that a bit more when it comes to it. Field of Ruins is going to be the land for the turn over on Michael's side. But I think again we just got a couple of lands in hand. Do you like cracking the clues now, or holding up to potentially end of turn cracking them if we don't need to?
I think he wants to keep a mana open for the anchorages, right? So he doesn't have to rush. He also has the Field of Ruin for the Mistress Foundry. That is among the really glary lands that David has.
Look, ladies and gentlemen, deal with us. Okay, like the coverage is hard. You need to get enough light on the table while shading it, depending on the venues and lighting and frame rate. There's so much that goes into it, but it's fine. That's why you got casters, and that's why we're on top of our game today. We know what those lands are, and it's quite easy, especially when it's a mono black deck. They're going to be swamps.
Yeah, it's complete alchemy, just so you know. Like I remember back in the GP days when we used to set up the amount of various umbrellas and all these shades where it was crazy.
Oh, we're getting in with everything here. Okay.
Not the bat though. The bat's a bit shy.
We don't want to be giving any more cat spells on the other side if we don't need to. Because of course there is the 3 steps ahead underneath that Deep Cavern Bat. Are there good blocks here? It doesn't seem great.
Not really, no. There's also the Mistress Foundry has another foundry ready to activate it to give it +2/+2. So basically a threat of 2 4/4s and a Death Toucher available to David here.
Yeah, like you don't want to block Tiny Bones, but you're kind of forced into it. You don't want it doing damage to you. Not why you've got Deduces in the graveyard.
You don't have to. Block. Yeah, you don't have to block the Tiny Bone because there's nothing really to cast from the graveyard. So it's only non-land permanent and Emperor costs 4. So now it's kind of okay. So
give it some pluses.
This was nice. So blocking the Foundry with the Anchorage, forcing the activation of the Foundry, and then using Field of Ruin to get it off the board. This also is going to get rid of the Tiny Bones here. I like this play from Michael. It was really well played, and I think if he can draw himself into like Memory Deluge or something to get rid of the board, he'll be in great shape.
Were we kind of forced into that from lack of action in our hand, having to turn things sideways and hope things go our way, or could we have waited a turn where Michael on the other side obviously still had a bit of a board already, and we don't know what's in his hand? So what do you think?
I mean, he could have played like a Gix, right, and just attacked with the Graveyard Glutton, but then that would be a double block. it wouldn't be too great. So it's just, I think David was just in a really tough spot overall.
All right, so Samurai that's coming in. It's got Vigilance, 2 damage coming across, 5 mana being
Fall.
tapped. Sunfall is going to clean out this
Nice
battlefield
draw.
and give us our counter spell back in hand, as well as generating a free incubate token. And we've got the 2 mana up for it if we need to. That's the sort of card. This is what the blue-white control decks do, right? Is they need to be able to 1-for-1 as much as they can. Then if they can get something that's like a 2, 3, 4-for-1, this is how they get back into the game, start gaining their card advantage. As you now see, Mike's got like 3 or 4 cards in hand, boards dealt with, plus we've got the blocker and the ability to draw more cards. Day-Night still going, though, in case any more Graveyard Trespassers do come down.
Yeah, nothing else from David. He doesn't even attack the gigs into the incubator, of course. He can work himself up to 7 mana to activate the gigs, right? I believe, but also now Emperor comes down as well.
Generating a 2/2. Then we get an untap for our turn. And like we're kind of turning the burn, especially on David's side. You know there's a counter spell as well. So whatever your first relevant spell isn't going to be stuck around for much longer. +1/+1 counter plus first strike added to that Samurai.
Yeah,
it's going to get in for 3 points.
Yeah, it's really tough. I mean, David can, if he plays land, he can activate the gigs. Yeah, okay. But he only has 1 card really in his hand, right? I think 1 or 2. I think just 1.
What would be a good card to hit here in this spot? Farewell?
Yeah, with Emperor already on the board, I'm not sure. Yeah, there you go. So, okay, this card's okay. Gets Tidebinder. That's brutal. Tishana's Tidebinder and all multi-format all-star, and you can see why.
It really is. I think we're turning the corner here. Enough that we're just going to be scooping them up on David's side. So, Michael, we're going to be 1 game up. This is the deck, Abyss and Caves. Make sure you buy into it, ladies and gentlemen. It looks pretty good, but we get access to the sideboards as well as the players because it's an open deck list tournament. And that's not just today. That is also going to be tomorrow as well. So, with this sideboard, what are the good cards in this sideboard that you think potentially Michael could be bringing in?
I mean, he has to look at what he's facing, but like in general, I think maybe something like Dust Animus could be nice, like an early blocker, right? That can block. Temporary Lockdown could also be decent. I think Sea Shark is a really nice play here. That kind of basically what Michael is, what kind of dynamic he's playing on against the mono black deck is like. The mono black deck will probably have to keep some amount of removal in their deck just because of the threat of the Sea Shark, the Dust Animus, and so on. But he does maybe draws will line up in a way where the removal spells are still dead, or that he doesn't draw the removal spells and Michael has those creatures. So it's going to be a really interesting dynamic.
All right, let's have a look at the other deck list and let's get that up on the screen for you all to have a little look at. So this is the mono black mid-range, well, maybe aggro to mid-range deck. Not something we typically see too much of, but obviously it's going well in the hands of David so far, up to a 3-1 record. With this sideboard, any key cards you think you should be bringing in?
I mean, there's not as much stuff to bring in, right? Like, I think it's like Duress is probably going to come in. Hostile Investigator is going to come in. Maybe Gix's Command as well. I could see a bunch of other cards being brought in as well, but I'm not super impressed by the options that David has at his disposal. He really needs to curve out really well and just hope to carry just a Gix or an early advantage to the board. I will note there's a 3 Liliana of the Veil in the main deck. Maybe that's something that Michael might want to board in his option bailout. We'll see.
Yeah, be interesting to see if that does actually play out. I'd love to see it on camera. So let's get down to the match. Going into game number 2 here. Remember, round number 5, bringing to you by the beautiful people at Heavy Play. They are sponsoring today's broadcast. And they got a nice little discount code on there in case anybody wants to jump across to the website and pick anything up, as both the players are off to the races. Lango land into, I think that's a mount entering the battlefield.
Bronco. Yeah. Caustic Bronco.
I love it. It's like a Bronco. It's a mount. It's a horse. It's a dead
horse.
Mount,
I think, right? Horse.
So, third land drop.
Yep.
Deep Cavern Bats, I think.
Yeah.
We're going to see if we can get that the screen blown up for you all at home. We're going to deduce in response. So go a card deeper plus generate a clue token.
Yeah, as you can see the activity in the hall, lots of people going around. Dreamhack Dallas.
Well, as you said, over 1,200 players in the room. And that's just playing the main event. Plus all the other side events. This is a Dreamhack event, so there's lots of stuff happening in the background as well. You can see all the cosplayers like kind of walking around. It's pretty cool to see. And that's just being at one of these cons. There's a lot of event for no matter what you're into or whatever you decide. There is a bail-off in the hand. Let's go.
The jig is up.
Go.
Liliana blanked. Remember, Michael does not have a way to cast the Obstinate Bailoff. However, if ever he's forced to discard, he can put the Bailoff right into play. So, but Bronco attacks, gets a swamp. That's always very nice.
Okay, what we're going to do moving forward here, passing the turn back. We've established, a bit of a board state at this point. How much are we willing to commit, especially when we know that the sweep is in the 75? And this is when mind games start to happen. Like, do we leave all the sweepers in? Are they that good in this matchup? Do we want to actually board it into more of a creature package? Do we want to get, obviously the Bailoffs have come in, which I love. I love that it's just a one of in the deck, but it's in our opening hand. And on the other side, David's got 3 Lilianas in the deck, and I think he might have 1 in hand as well. Does it completely just stonewall Liliana? Like, you can never play it, never tick it up?
I mean, you can play it, but you don't want to tick it up. So the Bronco ability gets countered. I love this. Another reason why I love Tidebinder. Not just you can counter the ability, you can also profitably block if you get the chance. It's really nice.
And it catches me out every single time it's cast and cast.
Another reason why I love that card.
Exactly. I know you just like to watch me suffer. I appreciate it, my friend. I appreciate it. Yeah. What's going to be the follow-up play here? We do have a land drop for the turn, I think. We've got a swamp. Yep, here it comes. Yeah. But what are the good 4 drops? Liliana would obviously be the best one to play here, but not ideal when we know there's Bailoff. So we're going to go with the Investigator.
And that's going to discard the Bailoff. So Michael can put it into play. It feels like David really wanted to get down the Investigator, maybe clear the way for Liliana or something similar. He still gets the clue.
4 damage gained, and of course it came into play for free, something I don't think anybody's seen since about 2014. So just remind people, what does it do and why did it enter the battlefield?
I think let me pull up the text just to be sure that I have it right, because I've played that card quite a bit back in the day. But it says, if a spell or ability an opponent controls causes you to discard Obstinate Bailoff, put it onto the battlefield instead of putting it into your graveyard. And that means that the Hostile Investigator also still triggers because it was still discarded. You just put the Bailoff in play instead of the graveyard.
Sick. Love to see it. Tiny Bones is going to be the play. Not the most powerful play we can do on turn 5.
Oh, it can block a Bailoff.
It can block a Bailoff, and it can block a Bailoff pretty well. But we decided to, we didn't even want to take the trade when we could have with the Investigator. So Wonder and Emperor's coming down.
So obvious too. I mean that was an Emperor there, just because of Michael not really playing any lands. Okay, Takenuma.
In response,
because he's going to get a clue of that. Remember, it's if any player discards a card, so he plays that Takenuma channel, gets back Bronco, and now the Investigator should get exiled.
Yep, exiled. 2 life gained, 1 life lost, 1 life gained for David. It just doesn't seem like these cards are lining up well for David on the other side. Like, the deck's really cool, but it's just not doing much.
Blue-white just has so many powerful.
But another card we don't see too much play at the minute. This is obviously the 1 mana 2/2 from OTJ. Can't block, but whenever you commit a crime, you may pay 1 black. If you do, return it from your graveyard to the battlefield. So this is one of the engines of this deck of just being able to continuously attack each turn if needs be. Apply that more pressure, but not so good in the face of a 5/5 Bailoff. Oh, how can we? What have we? We can get anything in the deck that's good at this point. Maybe the Liliana, if it can resolve, could tick down, get it off the battlefield. You don't really want to keep in too much removal, like go for the throat in this matchup, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's always tough for these, and this is another reason why the control decks can be so good. Their removal is going to be live, all the time, but the mono black or even Golgari has a similar issue. Oh, look at this hand. Double Deluge and No More Lies. Good luck, Bat.
We decided not to fire off the No More Lies there.
Yeah, he wants to fire off the Memory Deluge. That's completely fair. Just imagine if Michael draws into a Sunfall, right?
Oh yeah, well,
just completely brutal, especially with Emperor already in play.
And you know, as good as Bats is in the early game, and you know, being able to take a card out your opponent's hand, the later the game goes, and if something like a sweeper was to happen, it's a House of Domino effect, right? Like not only do they get rid of everything on the battlefield, but they also gain 2 more cards back to their hand. It's going to be pretty key. And as you said, with that Memory Deluge, it is going to let us try and potentially find one of these big key sweepers that you're speaking about. So Tiny Bones is going to get turned sideways. We're making sure that says deals damage to player, not planeswalker, to trigger the ability.
Exactly.
So here it comes.
Yeah, just the Deluge, I think, first, just to see what are the options. Okay, Lockdown is going to be pretty good. I feel he's already like that's a given. Yeah, I think now he's. I think Michael is not going to block here. Maybe he already. It's end of turn already, so he didn't block. And now I think the Lockdown is going to get rid of the whole board. It's going to take a clue on Michael's side as well, but I don't think it's going to be that worried. He can play the Lockdown.
Oof.
Yeah,
crack the clue, go a card deeper at least. But then, yeah, this is that domino effect.
Look at that! Look at that! Like, and Mono Black doesn't have a way to get rid of the Lockdown either. But remember, both players at 4-0 actually coming into this match.
Yeah,
David doing a really good job with his Mono Black deck. Look at Michael just take 6/6 Bailoff.
Of course, Mono Black famous for being able to get enchantments off the battlefield. So that Lockdown's going to be sticking around for a little while. Dress a turn too late here. It's going to reveal the hand. It's going to show the March. It's going to show a No More Lies and the Memory Deluge. Plus another land, but can only take one of the other 3. Lands are definitely sticking around in that hand for a little bit longer. What do you like taking here?
Yeah, March was probably the best card to take here. Yes, has the Mishra's Foundries.
2 mana Bronco.
Sure.
2 mana attack, Field of Ruin. Go get another basic that's going to enter the battlefield. And yeah, it feels like the writing might be on the wall here for David, but we're going to go through the motions. A lot on the line. You know, going 5-0 is one step away from locking up that day 2. I think you need like an extra 3 record or something to make day 2.
Yes,
but this is a large tournament, so it could be slightly off. But being 5-0 is going to give yourself the best possible shot of that. Because remember, today is 9 rounds of standard action, and tomorrow we're going to come back for another 5 in the Swiss before cut to top 8, where we will crown ourselves a champion, find out which 2 players are going to go to the World Championships and what 64 players are going to earn themselves Pro Tour invites to our side of the globe here in Europe, in Amsterdam, in only a couple months' time.
No, it's only in 4 weeks' time, actually.
Oh, a month's time? Let's go.
The Pro Tour is in 4 weeks. I mean, the players who qualify today will have their work cut out for them, finding a modern deck and actually getting to practice Modern Horizons 3. That's what we're going to be drafting over there.
Okay, well, not only working the draft format out, you got to work the modern format out. That's going to change completely. Yeah. But back to standard, Liliana the Veil coming down. Do we like this resolving or not? We've got a second creature now, so it's, you know, this Bailoff realistically is going to be stuck around for a little bit more, and of course, at the minute, is a lethal threat.
Yeah, Bailoff doing work.
4 mana. We're going to Deluge in Response. Maybe we can find a second Bailoff, even though there's only 1 in the 75, but it would be pretty sick to see.
Okay, Tidebinder, another Emperor. Not bad.
So what if we tick down? I'm trying to say there's a weird line that we could have lethal, even if there is a tick down in this situation. Oh, we've got the Otawara, so we can bounce the blocker off the battlefield if there is only going to be one. Mm-hmm. Tick down deals with the token. 1 card left in hand for David on the right of your screen.
He also has a Mishra's Foundry among the lands, I think.
Yep. So, yeah, right. Better angle. Love to see it. And Tokenama in hand. That's not great right now. And just passing the turn back.
Yeah, he knows he has to block.
What was the draw? I think it was a counter spell, I
Yeah, 3 steps ahead. He also has Auto Wars. He's just going to Auto War the Bronco and swing for lethal.
Can we not activate the? There's a field of ruins in the battlefield. So yeah, Michael's going to take that down. Love it. Lovely sequencing. Lovely play. Michael taking it down 2-0, advancing to a 5-0 record here at North American Regional Championship. So we're going to head back to the booth because our time has come to a close, my friend. It has been an absolute pleasure, as always, to be in the booth with you. We're going to pass it across to Mason and Arya. They're going to be, doing the last couple of rounds today and find out which players get to go into that day number 2. So, any last words, Matej?
It was a pleasure, Will. Thank you for having me, and thanks for all the viewers. Hope you had a good time, and I hope to see you again soon.
Well, I've got something for those viewers. It is another giveaway courtesy of Heavy Play. So one last time from us, chat, I need you to type Heavy Play in that chat box. That will mean you're in with a chance of winning yourself $5 store credit from heavyplay.com, as well as a 10% discount code on the top right of your screen there, Dallas 2024. Huge shout out to them because, of course, without them, we wouldn't be able to bring you this amazing coverage that we have brought you 5 rounds of, another 4 today, plus a full day tomorrow. So huge shout out to Heavy Play. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have live paper coverage of this event. So support them so they can support more events in the future. From me, from Mr. Big Z himself, it has been an absolute pleasure. Good luck to the rest of our cancers. Good luck to chat, and good luck to the rest of the players taking part in this regional championships. Stick around for this video, round number 6. Goodbye, chat.